Hey everyone, Willy here from Ricoma Embroidery Machines. If you're new to this channel, I'm not only the host for Ricoma's popular YouTube show, Embroidery Hub, I'm also a certified embroidery machine technician. Because of my technical expertise, I was asked to be a part of a commercial embroidery machine technical Q&A with Christopher Blakeman, who runs an embroidery coaching program called Embroidery Business Accelerator. On this Q&A, I answer questions about machine maintenance, popular accessories, and the process of learning how to use your machine. So, if you're new to embroidery or want to learn more about growing your business or taking care of your machine, then stay tuned for this very informative Q&A. All right, I'll see you on the other side.
Willie, thanks for jumping on with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So we'll go ahead and jump into it then. Willie, do you want to go ahead and just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more in detail about your background and what you do?
I'm Willy. I'm the host of our YouTube channel here, Embroidery Hub. We make tons of videos on doing different things with embroidery. I started off in the warehouse. I did basically maintenance on the machines and made sure the tensions were right and worked my way up to being a technician. From a technician, I went all the way up to being the YouTube host.
What was your favorite thing about being a machine technician?
A lot of times when you first start off with a machine, you're kind of scared of it, right? Because it's such a big machine, an industrial machine. It's nice to know what's behind the machine, what makes it actually work, and all the little details that go into it. And it's pretty neat how you can not only see it embroidered, but know what's going on in all the components that are in the machine, how smart they are.
When it comes to the machinery, what do you think is the best thing, like maybe steps of things to do for people to get the best life out of their machines?
I see it like, I would say like a car. In the end of the day, it is a machine. So the first thing that I would always go for is your maintenance. You want to make sure that your maintenance is intact, not only on the maintenance part, but how you clean your machine as well. So basically I will go and make sure that my oiling is, up to date. My threads are nice and clean. All my needles are pretty new. They're not dull. Not only that, also, I would say is the way you operate the machine as well. Make sure you trace, make sure how it's adjusted. For example, if you're doing like a lot of caps, make sure it's adjusted for caps. You don't want to have it not adjusted, break needles. We try our best to show our customers what they're able to do, but not only that, how they can grow their business, and on top of that, how they can make sure that their machine lasts forever.
The setup of the machine is really important, because I think what we do sometimes, we get in a hurry or we got things to do and we want to just like get the machine to embroider something really quick. So with everybody you've dealt with over the years, like when do you see it, like usually as people are making the transition from having just like the single head, or they get the single head machine? I know Ricoma has like a 20 needle machine now. When do people usually make the transition to multiple heads and they start growing out?
Most of the times it's the volume, but you also get a lot of customers that are starting to notice that when they start off, they start getting one-offs, and then they start noticing, well, now it's not more of one-offs. Now you're getting repetitive orders from the same kind of customers, and they become your customers for most of the times as a lifetime. That's when you start noticing, okay, now you could spend, I would say time is more valuable than anything else. So the longer you take to make orders, you can make a lot more. So I see it a lot of times once they start getting repetitive orders. So once they start seeing a couple orders that are always like 10 shirts, 10 hats, that's when they start noticing, well, let's go over to like a 2-head, or maybe even sometimes even a 4-head. And it's really smart when at least you're going up to like, let's say an EM1010, and you're already getting a lot of orders. You're using it not as a hobby machine anymore, but more like an industrial. And you start noticing, well, I need to get more out of this. So they jump over to like an MT 2-head, and then now they get the same design. They get it done twice as fast. This industry, it grows really fast when you're starting off. If you're starting off and you're not, you're not sure what your business is going to be about, just I would say do your homework, because this business does grow pretty quickly.
How long did it take you to get the hang of using an embroidery machine when you first started out?
So to really use it, luckily when I first started, we had designs here already pre-made, and there were good designs. So what I really needed to work on when I first started was my hooping, making sure everything's centered. I took like around, to be honest, like about 2 to 3 months to get the machine running smoothly, and learning about my thread breaks, why you get thread breaks, why you get tails, because at the end of the day, your cleanup process is very important as well for the time that you have. You don't want to have too much cleanup, so you want to make sure your tensions are right. So I would say tensions, it took me like around a month or so, and then after that, it was just every time I would get a new project, then I would first test it out. Most of the times I recommend to go over to like a Goodwill or like a thrift shop and get something that's very similar to that garment that you're going to be using. But to really get the hang of it, I would say max like 6 months, and you'll be pretty good. But it is a learning curve for sure.
So if somebody's up and running and they've got some orders coming in, they're starting to pick up speed, what are like some common attachments or like additional machines or equipment maybe they can add to their business to produce extra revenue? Like, what do you see is a pretty common thing that people add on as they go?
The first thing I always see is the 8-in-1 hoop. The 8-in-1 hoop, it's basically 8 hoops in one. And the reason why they get it is because you're able to do so much more. You get the very little ones that you're able to do, for example, collars, pockets, socks, a ton of stuff. You can go in and get into like all the little parts where you can't get with a regular hoop. You could also do like the back of hats. You can do the curve, the nice curve. A lot of times with the regular hoop, you'll probably be able to just do a small design or a small logo. With the 8-in-1 hoop, you're able to go all the way across. The other thing I would say is our belt hoop and our robot frame. So belt hoops, when they start getting into like doing things for karate and like dog collars and things like that, you get a lot of business out of that. And the robot frames, you could do shoes. So a lot of like basketball teams, they order their numbers or their names on the shoes. More than that, I would say it will be the heat presses. Now they can do shirts and they can do hats and they can do prints and at the same time embroidery. And right there, you're kind of conquering the market, not completely, not fully, because you're probably missing 1 or 2 other machines, but you get a big chunk of that market. You can do shirts now, and you could do anything that has to do with embroidery, which comes basically anything.
Can you get into the embroidery industry if you don't have any crafting experience or graphic design experience?
In my opinion, it's very simple. It's just stitches, right? Now, when you're getting into it, you're going to see a lot of the videos that we do is basically the machine will do it for you. The only thing you do need to know is, I would say, you're knowing a little bit about designs and tensions, but you could always outsource your designs. If you don't know how to hoop, you get a hoop helper, master hoop. It aligns it for you. All you have to know is just follow along with the steps. I mean, I started off with pretty much no knowledge. If anything, I knew a little bit about sewing, but not really, because it was my grandfather, the one that played around with it. So, but I would see him, and that's something that I really got into. But when I first came in with embroidery, not at all. I came in with zero knowledge, and I would say 6 months is good enough for anybody to learn, even if you're in a totally different industry.
How long did it take you to get pretty good at digitizing?
Digitizing, I would say a year completely to get really knowing pretty much everything. But when you're starting off, at least it took me like 3 months, but that was constantly. I took 3 months that I would just do digitizing and testing. Now, this is the cool thing. When you get your machine, you get a program, the software with it. That's the cool part, that now you're able to use the software and at the same time test what you're doing. Now, I always recommend don't test on your customers. So if you could spend a little bit of time invested in yourself, that you could learn how to do regular designs, that's amazing. But not only that, you have auto digitizing too. So auto digitizing, it's really helpful. For easy designs, if you're starting off, you're probably gonna do some letters and very simple designs. And that's a pretty cool feature that you could start off and using your machine with the software already. What
are some of the more common problems you see as like a machine technician, or that you solving like on a regular basis with customers, even if it's not with the machine, just like what are problems that you're encountering?
Embroidering on hats is I would say the biggest issues that I've seen. And that's because your design needs to be also meant for hats or digitized for hats. Once you really, see your videos on how to embroider on hats, that right there squashes everything, and you're going to feel comfortable with it, because there is a thing in the industry that people are scared of hats. But I say you shouldn't have to be, as long as you have a nice design that's meant for hats and know the difference, because there is a difference between hats, right? You have really flimsy hats and then you have really structured caps. And as long as you know that, and you know that you need stabilizer for some you don't need stabilizer, and knowing that obviously your speeds reduce them just a tiny bit, because in the end of the day, it's not a flat and it is curvy.
So if someone's just starting out, what Ricoma model do you recommend specifically for like somebody that's like we're talking about, like never embroidered before, not in the crafting industry, but they see the opportunity to get into a home-based business where they can make money locally and even on the internet?
I would say you have to ask yourself first, what do you want out of your company, right? Do you want to stay at home and just have it as a hobby? If you want to do that, we'll go for the EM1010. If you want to really make the most you can out of it, I would say start off with the one that I have back here, the TC model. or the MT model. I would say the difference is that with the MT model, it's a little bit more heavy duty. So you have more space to do a lot more compared to this one back here. But this one will do the job just as fine. It's just you're limited to certain little things. Not a lot, but you are. A lot of customers start off with the 2-head. And the reason is because of what I told you. When customers come in and they have an order, you can take it out right away. You have, let's say, instead of a 2-week wait, you have it in a week or less, depending on, what order it is, how many pieces it has. If you think that you're going to get a lot of embroidery orders coming in, start off with the MT 1502. But if you are not sure of what you're going to be doing, but you're not going to use it as a hobby, then go ahead and start off with either a TC or an MT model. Now, if you're 100% sure you just want to use it as a hobby machine and have fun with it, you don't really mind spending, I would say, 6 months just playing around with it and seeing if you're really going to get into it or not, I would say go for our EM 1010 model, which that's a hobby machine.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoy learning a little bit more about the technical side of embroidery. And remember, if you're an Ricoma customer, we offer free lifetime technical support 7 days a week and after hours. All you have to do is contact our service team, and maybe I'll be the one to answer your call. If you have any other questions, make sure to comment down below, and my team and I will answer them for you. If you're looking for even more embroidery-related content, make sure you join our Facebook group, Embroidery and Custom Apparel Mastery, where we have almost 25,000 members. You can also follow us on Instagram at Ricoma HQ to stay up to date on the latest embroidery trends. All right, guys, I'll see you guys next time.